and welcome to this episode of Avatar Face to Face, where we like to bring you all the news and information about arts and culture in Westchester and beyond. My name is Kinch-Thomas, and it's a pleasure to have you with us today. We have on the show two wonderful young ladies who are bringing a fabulous production to Mount Vernon. And we want to welcome to the show today Lauren Raysor. And Lauren is, by profession,
I'm an attorney.
An attorney,
yes.
Right. So you have, for most of that professional life, been involved in cases around civil rights and
yes.
consumer fraud.
Yes.
And you've been working for the people.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
We're going to come back to you in just a second because we want to also welcome to the show Miss Phyllis Yvonne Stickney.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
And Yvonne, you have quite the extensive resume in the arts. I mean, everything from producer to director, author, actress, comedian. I'm going to run out of fingers in a moment.
Yes, I got some toes now.
Okay, but yes, I think people will know you most for your comedic work and your film work.
I think
so?
That's true.
Yes, because we've seen you in features like Die Hard with a Vengeance,
yes.
and what are some of the others that you've been in?
How Stella Got a Groove
How
Back.
Stella Got a Groove Back, yes.
What's Love Got to Do with It?
Okay,
Malcolm
lovely.
X.
All right, fantastic.
Women of Brewster Place.
Women of Brewster Place.
Okay.
Inkwell.
The Inkwell thing. I'm
Yes.
going.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to work pretty consistently.
Okay.
When it was my desire as an actor on film.
Okay, so as an actor, you've done so much, but you've also moved into these other areas of arts, of production, and now as a producer, you're bringing something to Westchester, which we certainly want to inform people about. Why did you decide to make that shift?
I think as an African-American, quote-unquote, woman of color in the industry,
Okay.
it's almost a natural or required additive. You have to be multifaceted. You have to be multitask. They talk about being a triple threat when you come in
Yes.
singing, dancing, and acting.
Right.
But in addition to that, you have to know behind the scenes, I believe. You need to know the business of the arts.
Yeah.
And being in the business for 30 years now. When I started in the business, it wasn't the same quite. There were still more stereotypes in terms of what we were expected to audition for, roles that we were expected to portray.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I've had an opportunity to work with people like Roger Furman, the late Roger Furman, who
Yes.
was a believer in arts in our community.
Right.
And so I consider myself a product, if you will, of the community, the Black theater experience, specifically in Harlem.
Yes.
And so it married Roger's ethics about being in the community and staying true to the community and serving the community and having the theater be an outreach, or if you will, a service.
Right.
And it was an extension. It was very much supported by the community. He taught me those ethics and how to do it in the community, in the village of Harlem.
Okay.
And so I've stayed true to that. Meeting with Miss Raysor on September 18th, I think we're, what, 2 years?
Yes.
2 years we met, September 18th, which happens to be my spiritual daughter's birthday. And I was hosting an event, and Miss Raysor was in attendance. She had her book there, Living the Wealthy Life.
Right.
And one of her associates introduced us. And I actually called on her for her legal acumen.
Okay, this is wonderful because I was going to ask you how the two of you, one from a law profession and one an actress, how you came together. I mean, what was it that brought you to? I mean, yes, you met at this event, but what was it that clicked between the two of you that made you want to say, okay, we should work together?
Well, I always admired Miss Stickney in terms of her art form. It's something that has made the community very proud in terms of her work.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of her fans come up to Miss Stickney, and they're proud of her work. So part of the collaboration was I had interest in the arts. The lawyers always want to do something different other than our profession. But we I always wanted to do something in the art and support the arts.
Okay.
So I was supporting some other projects in the Westchester community, and then we decided to talk about some of the projects that Ms. Stickney would like to have seen. So one of them is Westchester.
All right, wonderful. So then that brings us to this production that you guys are working on together and want to share with the audience. So now, who wants to tell us first how this came to be? We have
the coin.
We should yes we should say that the name of this production is Laughter and Lyrics.
And I say Laughter and Lyrics with Lauren. That's my salute to Lauren Raysor, who, in spite of all of the different ways that we communicate, and because we have the same birthday, we have
wonderful.
We have private jokes, and the people that work around us probably have special pressure pills and things that they take, because it is quite interesting. It actually has spawned a sitcom that we're developing, and so I have to just first of all tell. Part of it was because I did call her for her professional acumen as legal.
Okay.
And then she expressed a desire to help me. You know, I say it in all seriousness. I was praying for someone that would help me, that would see me as an artist and understand and appreciate my value and be willing to invest in me, not just in words, but would be willing to invest in their dollars.
Okay.
We all know how difficult it is to raise funds for the arts.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so I've been a producer of my own work out of necessity. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I wasn't being cast in plays at that time. We're talking 20 years ago.
Right.
I was fortunate to be able to work consistently as an actress, but it was usually in the black theater experience. So when I started working regionally, I found that the stereotype was still the same. So I began to do one-woman shows. I began to follow in the footsteps of people that I'd seen. Actually, the first person, I have to give her credit, was Jennifer Lewis.
Okay.
Jennifer Lewis, who we now know as the mother, played my mother and our mother in What's Love Got to Do with It, is a brilliant stage performer, and had a show called Vampirella. And I went to see this show. Never thought about doing my own show, but I knew that I had an ability to do a variety of things on stage. And so I produced my show, and then continued to do so. And that brought me to 25 years or 30 years later, meeting with Miss Raysor, who has a commitment to the Westchester community.
Right.
And
so
women.
why is it important for you, Lauren, to support someone like Phyllis, who has this longevity in the arts and in the community? Why was it important for you to step up and say, okay, I'm going to be that person, I'm going to be that individual?
Well, Ms. Stickney has a lot to offer to the community, a diamond in the rough. So we have to make sure that our diamonds, I guess their shine doesn't dull or something like that. I'm trying to do something theatrical here. It's not working, but we have to make sure that our great people in our community are given every opportunity to be even greater. So what I tend to do is I try to use my resources to support people who are in the arts, because I think that's the greatest thing that you can have. Even though I practice law and I may give in another way, but the creative people, they give so much, and I see what happens when Ms. Stickney is out there and people are seeing her and they love her art. So she needs to be performing. She needs to be out there producing, because that's the talent that Ms. Stickney has and has always had.
Right, and not necessarily worrying about how she's going to get her
we're still
her
worried.
art to the, well, there's still that.
Less
degree,
We're trying to have less stress, less worry here in 2013.
And just let that creativity flow and put the work on the stage.
It is.
That's what we're talking about.
A lot of people think that it's a simple thing, and reality television has done us a disservice as trained and seasoned performers and actors and artists, because you cannot possibly do the same thing off the street that someone has trained for years,
for decades,
or has been experiencing for decades.
Right.
And so what has happened why it became necessary for me to produce myself more, why it became necessary for me to look for talents like Takima Davis and Trina, Be Real, Trinice Edwards, and Shanta and Jaylene, because there was no one really when I came in that would take the time. They didn't take the time because they were busy having their careers.
Right.
Not angry with them. I got it.
Right.
I understood.
Right.
So when I was coming up, I had to sit at their feet and catch what I could.
Okay.
I had to catch what I could at their feet.
All right. So let's tell folks what Laughter and Lyrics is all about.
Laughter and Lyrics is a blended evening of conscious comedy, spoken word, with soulful music and song.
Okay. Sounds like a beautiful evening.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great date
Conscious comedy.
Conscious comedy. As
Elaborate
opposed to
on that a
blue
little bit.
comedy.
Yes.
When I came into the game, I say I've been the spook who's been sitting by the door for not long but a while taking copious notes. And I remember when we were able to go to the comedy clubs and didn't hear ourselves call the B word just like wholesale, just like every other, just like I had to check my birth certificate to see if my mother had changed my name. Oh, she didn't. So why are you calling me that?
Yes.
As if it's my name.
Okay.
Comedy was changed by Eddie Murphy. I saw him in Raw usher in the permission to call us the B word. Richard Pryor used to be the beacon for comedians.
Okay.
He was the one that we all looked to.
Right.
But after that night at the Paramount Theater here in New York City, or here in New York State, it was New York City, everything changed. Comedians then wanted to be like Eddie. So I decided when I got into the comedy that I was not going to use blue humor or foul or profane. I wanted to be representative and to be an illustration that you can be funny
Right.
and profound.
Yes.
You can be funny and clean. You can be funny and impactful. You can be funny and sexy too. Oh, woo-hoo. Okay.
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. Okay. So
Conscious comedy.
Conscious comedy. So you've got this evening with conscious comedy. You've got spoken word. You've got fabulous vocalists. I know because we're going to hear one a little later.
One of them.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did you go about selecting? Because that's an evening that's very tight in terms of the conceptually what you're looking to do. How did you go about selecting the artists for that evening?
Lauren.
Phyllis?
Lauren knows this October 1. Defer to this October 1 because she knew it was the best thing to do. No. I look at energies, and I'm a person that likes to keep my word.
Okay.
First of all, it's very important to keep my word. And so here are women, young women, who I see something that's fabulous in each of them.
Okay.
Trinice Edwards, Trina Be Real, the comedian, is like my child, my daughter, for real reasons and for career reasons.
Yes.
She is going to keep them laughing, but thinking and clean. I'm working with her
Okay.
to help her develop her craft. She's naturally gifted and funny. Shanta, I've known Shanta since she was about 15. And I told her if I ever had an opportunity, I would put her with something I was doing.
Okay.
That's years later.
Okay.
Years ago. So these were women that I knew all had a certain class, a certain sophistication. And because I knew Lauren was wanting to bring to Westchester something for women, you know, that saluted women.
Right.
But then baseline was important. I said, okay. We'd had conversations about comedy. We'd had conversations about other events. This gave me an opportunity to do all three at one time.
Bring it together. Oh, okay.
Because I'd seen it be successful in Jamaica. So, you know, I knew it could be successful here in Westchester County as well.
Thank you, Miss Stickney.
All right. So you've got how many women are part of this production?
4 women are performing.
Four women
are performing.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Jaylene
right.
Clark is our spoken word artist who's going to co-host. I'm going to probably come in and help her out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have Takima Davis, vocalist.
Okay.
We have also Shanta Warthen, who's a vocalist. some of the American Idol fans remember her as the one that missed the bus. And then we have Takima Davis, who's also a fabulous vocalist, with a wonderful library of original songs, and an ability to capture with her a cappella voice, or with a band.
Okay, so and you are at the helm, and with the wealth of experience that you have, and almost mentoring to these young women, and giving them the opportunity to be on a stage and just blossom within the framework of their talent. That's
yes.
what I'm getting.
That's the concept. Yes.
That's the concept. Okay, so so what? It's come on down to the baseline and experience this evening. What do you want the women who come to walk away with?
Well, certainly enjoyment. That's number one, because sometimes we don't get to laugh. We work so hard, we don't get to smile, and we don't get to let our hair down. And then number two, we want to empower them through the things that we're talking about, because the spoken word artist is going to deliver some great words, and also some of the singers here, if you've heard Takima, they all have messages, seem to have messages in their craft. So hopefully that's what they'll get, and they'll get lifted. And have some fun and come on back. So I'm seeing that there's connection, because a lot of your work, even though we talk about the lawyering being distant, if you will, from the arts, but I'm hearing a certain social consciousness in your motivation and in your perception of what you're doing that's going to help Phyllis put this production on the stage or at this venue. So there's that in terms of activism that I think that is also a connection in there. Definitely. Fantastic. Now, we want to talk a little bit about this venue, because I know that there's something very special about Baseline. For those who don't know, share with us, please. Baseline is one of those diamonds, and it's located in Mount Vernon, and it's a well-known jazz club, actually. And the person that owns Baseline is called Duke Jones. Duke Jones' background is that he founded the group called Atlantic Star, Always, and some of the other songs back in the day. And he's high level in music, and he also plays the trumpet. He had a show with Peebo Bryson and the Vesta before she passed, and all of those individuals. And at the Baseline, a lot of celebrities do come through there. So it's really the place where we want people to discover artists now. We want to bring them from Westchester all over, New Rochelle, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, all over, where you can come see raw talent, new talent, along with other talent. So we're going to bring back some great artists, but we also want to showcase poets and authors, and we also want to showcase new emerging, what we call emerging talent. So Duke is on board, and he's happy that we're doing it, and you know, we're laying out the red carpet on that first day, and you know, hopefully we'll get all of Mount Vernon crowded in that place. And well, my goal. This show originally, was started by Dillard Boone from Mount Vernon, and the late Dillard Boone. I mean, we did a tribute show here to him last month, and he was such a powerhouse. And when I went to Mount Vernon, I mean, that's all I heard everywhere in terms of Dillard wanting to bring the arts to Mount Vernon and make it a vibrant cultural, you know, city where everybody would be able to, you know, be a part of what was going on there. So it's wonderful now to hear the two of you following right, you know, in that same path. Whether you knew it or not, that's what has been happening in Mount Vernon, and now you're stepping it up and continuing that.
The arts can save lives.
Yes, indeed.
The arts can save souls.
So I know that both of you brought a young woman here today who is part of the show. And she's going to perform for us. Okay, would you like to introduce her, please?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you will not forget, ever, 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 the first time you heard the vocal stylings of this amazing talent, Takima Chanel.
I wonder if they'll ever hear me sing. Have I waited too long? I wonder if my dreams will ever be. Will my hard work pay off? Yeah, I believe it. I just need to seize it. But sometimes I do wonder just to breathe. Oh, it makes me want to sing. Are these mics here turned down? I finally know where I'm supposed to be. Right here in front of y'all. Yeah, I believe it, but it's time to seize it. 'Cause sometimes I do wonder. Sometimes I do wonder.
That was fantastic. If that is, yes, we give Takima a hand, because that was just a snippet of what people are going to experience through laughter and lyrics. They're in for a phenomenal evening of entertainment.
Right. A full evening.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Lauren, if you would please give some information about where the baseline is and the dates and the times that folks can come see this production.
Well, the baseline is centrally located in
Like the way you said that.
because it's right by the Metro North, Mount
Okay.
Vernon East. It's directly across from the Metro North, so it's easily accessible. It's
Right.
130 East 1st Street. And it's a place where there's a bus line that goes down Gramerton, and you can get off and walk down there.
So the B line.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And also you have a great spot where you'll see there are various restaurants in the area also. So it's really a great spot to be.
Okay.
So you can buy tickets or online, or find out more information,
Yes.
lwlentertainment.com,
All right.
lwlentertainment.com.
Excellent.
And you can get all the information about the show. It starts at 8 o'clock. Dinner will be served, and the show will start at 9 o'clock. And it's 4 days.
Yes.
March 21st, March 23rd, March 28th, and March 30th.
Okay.
And tickets are going fast, so we want people to really get the front row seats.
Okay. And we should say, of course, this is Women's History Month.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is a celebration from you, for Women's History Month. How important was it for you to have it in this month, this production?
It's important. It's important. It's important. I mean, Women's History Month is the one time that we get to say we matter.
Yes.
In a certain way. We know that we
Right.
matter,
Right.
but we are, in this patriarchal society, we're sometimes we're often overshadowed.
Yes.
And so this is an opportunity for me. I think this is a young women getting a chance to do what they do what they love to do, and do what they were born to do.
Right.
And for us to show that no matter what happens in our daily lives, we can come
matter.
together.
And we matter.
And we have to come together.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That is so key. And if it takes a month for us to keep reminding not only ourselves but others of that too,
And
then
sisterhood
it's important.
also.
Yes.
Sisterhood, sisters taking care of sisters. That's really something I sort of champion.
Okay, that's wonderful. We need more champions
Yes.
with that in mind. So thank you, Lauren,
Thank you.
for taking that up. So we want to repeat once again. This is going to be Laughter and Lyrics.
Laughter and Lyrics with Lauren. which will
Conceived by
be-
Phyllis.
Well, March 21st, 23rd, 28th, and 30th. And the address, Baseline, 130 East 1st Street in lovely Mount Vernon. Now, you can take the Metro North. You can get there several ways. The B line, I understand, is the way for you Mount Vernon residents. Just get there online, www.lwlentertainment.com. Again, www.lwlentertainment.com.
All right. I think we got I think we got that information. So I want to ask you young ladies before you leave, what's next? Is there something on the horizon we should know about?
Always something. You know, we want to continue to do things in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
That's one thing. But I'm a Harlem resident.
Westchester would love that.
You know, so we're talking about it. You know, we're looking to see what's happening, but there's always something happening. Stickney Theater Project is something that my brother and I have founded, and that's Kima and Trina are part of that company.
Okay.
And we're hoping to continue to collaborate here in the Westchester community to bring quality training and entertainment.
Okay.
Yes,
Fantastic.
absolutely. We can see this going on more and more and more until we get to larger venues and larger theaters in Westchester. So I can't wait to give you more information as we develop our plans.
And there are plenty of those in terms of larger venues that would, I think, welcome, you know, a production like this that supports women, nurtures young women, presents their talents, and is a great time for everybody.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need more of. Absolutely.
Right.
So we thank you all for being here today. It's been a pleasure to hear about your work and what you're bringing to Westchester and Mount Vernon specifically.
Yes.
So we want to encourage everyone to check out Laughter and Lyrics, which will be at Baseline. Let me get these dates right. That's March 21st. 23rd,
the 28th,
28th,
and the 30th.
And the 30th. So please support in this celebration of women. Support this this production this month for Women's History Month at the Baseline, Laughter and Lyrics. We want to thank Miss Phyllis Yvonne Stickney for being here today. We want to thank Miss Lauren Raysor for being with us today and sharing their work. And we want to thank you for joining us, and make sure that you are with us again next week here on Avitar Face to Face. And we want to leave you with our thought, as always, that the dream is in the mind of the believer and in the hands of the doer. And you're not given that dream without being given the power to see it happen. So go ahead, make that dream happen. Stay well until we see you again.